Listen, these days it's hard to stay still. Hunters set fires to prey on your will. Before you go, fall on that knife. You better let somebody save your life. Let somebody save your life. Pull it all apart, take what you need. If you're lonely under city lights, lock up all your doors. Let somebody save your life. Save your life.
My father died by suicide. Although I never hid the fact that he took his own life, I was often left to deal with my pain in loneliness, social stigma, and solitude. I felt so alone with it. I wasn't able to talk about it. Throughout my career as a paramedic and a firefighter, I often found myself, when I did suicide calls, watching family members go through the same thing I did, and going through the same pattern made me want to say to them, I so understand what you're going through. As I watched them grieving and demolished in their kitchens and living rooms, I wanted to hold them and tell them that I really knew how they feel.
Scott's story is not uncommon. Suicide, most often preventable. Despite this, more than 32,000 people die each year of suicide. 32,000 communities struggle to fill a void, and 32,000 families absorbing needless pain. 32,000 lives needlessly lost. One person dies of suicide every 16.4 minutes. That's 90 people per day. It's the 11th leading cause of death in the United States, and the 3rd leading cause of death in our youth, ages 15 through 25. For every death by suicide, there are 100 attempts. That's 400,000 preventable attempts at self-harm in the United States each year. I come to you today as an advocate for suicide prevention, as a nurse practitioner who has worked with patients in the aftermath, and also as someone who has lost a family member and a friend to suicide. Suicide is silent. We don't talk about it. It makes it more tempting to those who have lost hope. The most important thing that we can do is talk about it. As a society, we need to speak openly about the challenges to acknowledge the deaths by suicide. Mental health problems can seem invisible, but they are real. They are as real as cancer and heart disease. The symptoms are real and beyond the control of the sufferer. Sadly, mental health problems are very common and touch almost every family. In fact, it's likely that you know someone who is suffering right now, and quite possibly you and that someone don't talk about it because of the stigma. Thanks for listening and talking. I mean really talking. We can eliminate the stigma around mental health problems and bring the issues out from the shadows and into the open. We can help each other. We can make a difference.
Stigma, it's always around us, whether it's the way you look, or the way you act, or the way you talk to somebody, or the way you dress. People who have a mental illness, they don't have a choice. They don't choose to have a mental illness, like cancer. You don't choose whether or not you get it. It just happens. No one treats you differently with a broken arm, so why do they treat you differently if you have a mental illness? Just because you can't x-ray it doesn't mean it's not broken.
Listen, these days it's hard to stay still. Hunters set fires to prey on your will. Before you go, fall on that knife. You better let somebody save your life. Let somebody save your life. Pull it all apart, take what you need. If you're lonely under